So, a very good morning boys and girls and welcome back to another video. So today I've come up to North Yorkshire to take a photograph of Falling Foss waterfall, the first one you will have already seen. I've never been here in summer. I'm rotating that way. I really want to take a photograph of this with a green canopy instead of white skies. I'm spinning around. Like I say, I want to take a photograph of it with a green tree canopy rather than the white sky that you usually get above this waterfall. We've had a little bit of rain. I'm spinning again, aren't I? We've had a little bit of rain, so there's some water coming over the waterfall. I'm going to look at this tree over here. I really don't trust this rope. Anyway, I've come on a day where there's two school trips about. So they're down there currently, so I'm up here doing what they should be doing and playing on a rope swing. And then what we're going to do, we're going to scramble down and hopefully take a really nice photograph. I don't know how long it's going to take. I'm going to look at that tree again. So what do I mean when I want to get a nice green canopy of this waterfall? Well, you can see around me it's early summer now, so the canopy is full of greenery and it's kind of softening all the light that comes down. This photograph is a really difficult one to take, especially at certain times of the year. The waterfall itself, it sits in a bit of a gorge, it's in a bit of a dip, so there's very little light down there anyway. And the light that does put through tends to be really harsh. And on top of the waterfall in the winter and the autumn when the leaves have dropped off, it's essentially just a bright white splodgy mess. And it looks a bit awful. So I'm hoping today, full of greenery, it's the first time I've been here in summer. I'm hoping the greenery fills in the space at the top of the waterfall. And we get something that looks a little bit cleaner than the ones I've taken in the autumn and the winter. The only thing left to do now is scramble down. If you've been to Falling Foss before, which I'm sure some of you have been, you know what I'm talking about. Wish me luck. Here we go. So when I talk about scrambling down here, I just had to move down this path. Basically, right up there where that tree is in the middle, that's where we've come from. And now we've got to get down here, which is always a good laugh. There is an old rope, which someone has kindly left there for people to use as a hold on to. But it's always good fun. And that's after you've scrambled under this thing, which fortunately, I'm quite little. I fit quite nicely. But yeah, now we've got to get down there. Hopefully not bounce into anything. So just allow me to show you the canopy area. It's this area above the waterfall here, and as you can see, it's all full of greenery, which is great because usually this area of sky is really exposed, which in a long exposure photograph of the waterfall tends to really overexpose. So to see all of that greenery there, it's a really drizzly, clear, cloudy, the opposite of clear, the cloudy kind of day. So we get some really diffused light anyway. So I'm hoping this is going to work out really nice. But I'm really impressed and I'm really happy to see that that area there is covered in greenery. So I'm currently just having a little bit of a walk around and trying to find all of the elements that I want to put into this photograph. The first thing that I've seen is this big old boulder here. It may work really well as a foreground interest with a wide angle lens. I always like the greenery and the mosses and the ferns on this rock wall here, and there's also some greenery coming in from the other side, and I always like the way the greenery frames this tree. I just need to figure out the rest of it. There is a broken tree trunk in the middle of this waterfall, which to be honest in the final photograph probably isn't going to be there. But I'm really drawn to this rock as a foreground element, the greenery either side of the waterfall, even the big fallen tree trunk as well. I'm really pleased that the top of that is covered in greenery. So I've got my photograph composed now. I'm just going to screw a polarizing filter on. It's going to do two things. It's going to cut through all of the shininess and reflections from all of the wet rocks and everything. It's also going to make the greenery in the background. It's going to put a little bit more colour and a little bit more pop into the wet greenery. So the whole idea of this polarising filter is twofold. Reduce reflections and glare, also saturate the colours a little bit more. Alright, so let's get this photograph taken then. So I've got ND32 on. It's really easy to get carried away with waterfalls and go for the longest exposure you possibly can. 5 seconds is, to be honest, more than enough. I tried it down with the 7 stock filter, the ND128. Way overkill, 13 seconds, too much movement everywhere. 5 seconds I found to be just right. f5.6, ISO 200. Let's go. So I'm going to use the touchscreen to take a photograph. I'm going to focus right on that boulder there. And I'm down at f5.6, which is my go-to micro four thirds aperture for this kind of thing. Think of it as the full frame equivalent of f11. You get front to back sharpness throughout just about all of the image. It's plenty sharp enough and there's plenty depth of field. Here's that photograph. And now you've seen that one, I kind of really want to try and get a photograph of the sapling and the waterfall. I don't know how I'm going to do it, what lens I'm going to use. But let's have a look. Let's see if I can get a photo, same sort of sound, photo of the sapling and the waterfall. See what happens. Right, so I kind of think I've got a photograph that's going to work nicely with this tree and the waterfall. I best hurry up and take it because the camera's pointing up. I'm not going to get too many goes at this before the polarizer's covered in green splodges from the rain, the strange green. So f5.6, 2 seconds, ISO 200. Let's just focus right on that tree and take the photograph and see how this one turns out. I've kind of got high hopes for it. So thank you very much for watching today's video. It has been nice to get some mud under the boots again, and all over my knees and legs and probably everywhere else as well. So the point of today's video was to come back to the same place at different times of year, just to see how things change and see what different kinds of photographs you're able to take. Like I said, this is the first time I've actually been here in summer. For some reason it's more of a winter spot for me. I don't know why. But today it looks a lot better covered in a bit of greenery, a bit of colour and a bit of life. If you have enjoyed the video, please do give it a like and a thumbs up because it does help bring new viewers to see my content. And if you're new here seeing me for the very first time, why not hit that subscribe button down below, then you'll see more micro four thirds nonsense from me every single week. And until next time, I'm gonna love you and leave you, I'm gonna go get a bath, and say peace and goodbye. I just sat in bed shit.